So my name's Noah. I'm on the varsity badminton team, so I'm a co-coach as well as the athlete. So
Nice.
I kind of play both and coach at the same time. I'm in my third year at uni. I'm currently in HBA1, but in my first 2 years I took software engineering.
And then, so how'd you get into being like the co-coach then? Is it like, did you kind of like progress through the ranks and then like they saw that you had like potential to be the co-coach?
Yeah, a little bit. So, I mean, for us, because Western doesn't really place too much emphasis on like coaching in badminton, so they kind of just recruit athletes as coaches. And personally, I've known a lot of the coaches before because most of the time they're usually like people I played on the national circuit with. So we kind of know each other from there. And when the last coach left, they kind of had a gap, right? So I was the best choice from that option, and that's kind of just how I got it.
Nice, yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we'll move on to like the main questions. So badminton is a sport that is like you're solely reliant on whether you win or not.
Yeah.
It can be a team sport if you have doubles or there's not triples, right? There's only doubles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, are there any like specific pressures that come with playing a sport that you're the main person that's reliant on that outcome and like you're reliant on your own performance? You don't really have a team to rely on.
Definitely, because like especially when you're playing, you're the sole, like you have all responsibility on yourself, and you have to take full accountability whether you win or lose. It's all on yourself. Obviously there's doubles too, but that's still like a 50-50 compared to a team sport like soccer, volleyball, basketball. You have that team to rely on, and one of the bigger things is like cardio and everything, right? So you're on court for that entire time and you can't really take a break. So you're going to be playing that entire time and you have to stay focused during the whole match. You can't really take any time off. The only relax you get is in between points, and so there's definitely more pressure when it comes to like physical demand, where you can't really slack off at any point. At the same time, it kind of makes you learn like accountability, especially when I was like starting out in badminton. It was tough because I was so used to always being helped along the way since I started pretty young, and so going on court, especially with tournaments, it was tough to learn because like I'm the only one on court, and realistically I'm the only one that can change the outcome of the match. So it is definitely tough, but it helps to build that skill along the way, and that's something that I've really developed. So like at this point in my badminton career, it's not too much pressure just because I'm really used to it, and it's just what I feel natural.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of answers the second question. Kind of also dealing with that pressure too, because you are, like you said, you have to deal with that pressure by yourself. You don't really have a team too much to rely on.
Yeah.
So in sports, there's times when you make like a bunch of misplays, or say you're down, I don't know, like 3 or 4 points behind someone, and you're on kind of like a losing point streak. So what are some kind of like strategies that you use to like get out of that mental slump, to like get yourself back on top of your game?
Yeah, and that actually happens really often. Like for me especially, I used to have times where I make so many mistakes in a row and I just get into this rabbit hole and I just keep making mistakes. But really it's just a mental reset, because usually when you make mistakes you get discouraged and you start doing it more and more and more. But really you just need to take some time, maybe stall a little bit, wipe your feet, drink some water, just in general slow down the pace and let yourself reset your mental state and reset your mind, and that way you can focus on the next one. It's always about focusing on the next one and focusing one by one instead of dwelling on the past and thinking how did I make that mistake, because it's not going to change anything. So always focusing on the next rally, always focusing on the next shot really helps you reset and just make sure you don't go down that rabbit hole of just making a bunch of mistakes.
Yeah, also kind of like a metaphor for life too, to like
exactly.
think about like the next thing and not focus on like if I made like a bad player, I mean like kind of like a bad performance is just like a fleeting thing. Like you're gonna improve as long as you keep on like thinking that you are.
Exactly.
That's kind of what athletes have to think about too, right? They have to think about the next point, but also keep in mind that I can't dwell on what happened before. I have to like have that mental image of I'm winning the next point, or I'm going to succeed.
Right, like you can recognize, sure, I made a mistake, I didn't do this well, but then move on, because there's no point in dwelling on it. Otherwise, it's just gonna mess up the rest of your game.
Exactly. Yeah.
How's life at Ivey been since you've come to Ivey, and how is it balancing the workload both in engineering and Ivey with being a varsity athlete, and also doing everything else that you do in life?
Yeah, sure. I can talk about engineering first because that was, obviously it's a little bit more busy than Ivy, as most people know, but it's definitely quite busy, and then my schedule was always packed. I didn't really have too much time for any other extracurriculars. We have training 3 times a week. I know some sports have more, but yeah, we have training 3 times a week, and then there's other training like individual strength training or cardio that you have to do outside of that, and combining that with the software eng workload, it's really busy. So time management is a big thing.
For sure.
And personally, I felt like coming into uni, because I played badminton for years during high school, during junior high, and I played on the national circuit, so that really helped me develop the time management. But uni is so much more busy than high school, and so it definitely helped a lot more, just developing the schedules and making sure that I actually made the time for practice and made the time to keep up my grades as well. But yeah, I mean, coming into Ivy, it's a little bit better now, just because the workload is a little bit less. So I have more time to focus on training and focus on coaching, because coaching I spend a few more hours a week now. So, but overall, it's a great experience, and I think it's definitely a good challenge to go through, especially in uni.
And kind of as a wrap up, what's something that you're looking forward to for the rest of the badminton season?
I'm definitely looking forward to all the tournaments and to trainings, because right now we have a really strong squad, and it's definitely, the culture is very good. Everyone's pretty tight knit. We have a lot of rookies coming in. They were a little shy to begin with, but yeah, it's getting a lot better. So the training it'll be fun, and the tournaments, I'm looking forward to it. It's always a fun time playing OUAs.
Nice. And so I was curious about the national circuit. So what is that like? Is it like a national tournament? I don't really know what it's about.
Yeah, so that was just me individually. Before, I just played nationals. I played on my own, representing my own club.
Oh.
But that wasn't anything team related. That wasn't anything varsity related. It was just kind of on my own circuit. So.
All right, well, thank you for coming and interviewing with us, Noah.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.